Hello everybody, this is Ketchup here, and normally you will find me on PND KNM on both YouTube and Twitch, but today I've partnered up with DashFight to bring you this guide to Rain in Mortal Kombat 1. You want to make sure you support DashFight here and make sure you subscribe to them, click that notification bell, and check out their website for all things FGC. Now, Rain. What is this character in Mortal Kombat 1? He is a defensive, zoning, setup-based character that may not have the fastest moves in the world, but when he gets going can be very good at a correct distance. It can be good at baiting opponents into making a mistake, going for some kind of impatient advance, I suppose, and having good damage and setup to harshly punish an opponent who has overstepped their mark and gone too far in. You can punish them in many different ways. Now let's talk about his buttons first. There are a few key ones. I'm not going to talk about every single attack because you only realistically want to use a few of them. Starting with his low pokes, down 1 and down 3 have good range and good speed. The down 1 is 7 frames, the down 3 is 9. One thing you'll notice is that the range on these pokes is incredibly strong. This goes hand in hand with creating a defensive perimeter. The down 3, for example, is a very similar distance to his down back 3. And it's all about pushback and creating a distance of which you want to play your game. This works really well when paired with special moves like down back 3, and it's great for stealing a turn or creating this defensive perimeter. The strings you want to use mostly, 1-1-4 is really strong for essentially setting things up and staying safe. The standing 1 is a 1-1 hit confirm into down back 1 for full combos, and it's a fast starting move, so if you want a quick punish, 1-1 is your ticket to damage. Forward 2-1 is your mid option. The mid can crush many low pokes, it can crush mash attempts if you're in the right situation, and the forward 2-1-3 is the full string. But it is mostly forward 2-1 you want to look at here, because forward 2-1 on hit, once more, will hit confirm into down back 1 EX. And this gives you a full combo. The down back 1 is your ticket to high damage, and I'll cover the combo examples shortly. However, the forward 2-1 is your mid answer. This is a really good string for crushing things. However, one thing you'll notice is that these strings don't have a massive amount of range on them. Rain is not the kind of character that's going to see you whiff something from this distance and whiff punish. He can whiff punish if you're really quick and have the right move, but things like forward 2-1, they are a bit stubbier than you would expect, so it's not going to serve as much of a long-range punish. It's more up close, catching someone for pressing a button at a wrong time. Outside of that, you have your back 2, which is a low. This can be cancelled into various things like down back 3 or down back 1. If you want to dedicate to this low, you cannot hit confirm it. You want to EX the down back 1 and get a full combo. This lets you jump cancel and go for a full combo that, again, I'll cover in a little bit. However, it's a nice little option to have. If you want to enforce an overhead, that's where forward 3 comes into play. You've probably seen this before. You've probably defended against it and been like, damn, I swear I blocked that overhead. Don't worry, me too. But this move, in general, is just a nice move to throw out offensively, to keep the opponent unsure of where they should defend. It is very slow, and it's slower than your back 2, so this is a reactable overhead. The opponent will block low and stand up when they see this, and the forward 3-2, while it is 2 overheads, will launch on hit and give you meterless combo damage. The reason I say that this might not be as much of a problem that it's reactable is that Rain has a neat little trick involving forward 3 into grab. This is something that Rain can do extremely well, and forward 3 cancelled into throw looks strange, and I gotta tell you, it's hard to tech. Most of the time, the opponent is looking for this animation. They're looking for the forward 3 so they can react to it. What they're not looking for to react to is forward 3 throw. Because if they're so busy looking for this fuzzy block of low overhead, the forward 3 grab is cheap and very strong. Even stronger when you have Sub-Zero cameo because he gets the 13 damage. Well, I guess 130 damage, if you're talking about it. 130 damage on your throw, and it's really good damage for what it is. This is the basics of Rain, but now let's talk about his special moves. Up close, Rain has a few specials that are useful. The down back 1 knocks the opponent in the air, but it is almost exclusively the EX version you want to spend a bar of meter on for a launch. This will be jump cancelled into various combos. and it gives you pretty decent damage for what it is and how easy it is to hit confirm into. The down back 3 creates distance and can be good on block with the right cameo to make it safer. It is unsafe on block. However, this is a armored reversal as well. This keeps Rain good defensively if you're armoring through a string, if there is a gap somewhere, or if they're going to be too zealous on wake up. This is a great way to punish that. However, it is unsafe, so you want to make sure you've got a good cameo to pair this with. Outside of that, though, Rain is all about range. Back forward 4 creates a whirlpool on the ground that will launch them. Down, down, up is a vertical projectile. And the cool thing about both of these specials is that you can guide them close, medium, or far. The same thing happens with the whirlpool. The same things happen with down, down, up. Both of these are fantastic at creating distance, and so is back forward 1, a simple projectile that when you charge it all the way, will stun the opponent and allow you to either continue a combo or get some setups. I'll cover those setups in a moment. This is all really strong at creating distance. However, one thing you'll notice is they're quite slow on startup. So you're not going to be able to machine gun these out without a cameo to cover your back, and that's something I want to cover later in this video, is that this creates great space. However, it's not free. You have to be very cautious of what the opponent's doing at range to keep you at bay, because they might be able to counter zone you. However, the final move to cover is down back 2. This creates a portal, and you can only ever have 2 of these out at once. However, you can summon them indefinitely, and down forward 2 allows you to teleport to them. This can be really tricky, because Rain will then reappear and then start to attack you from the portal, allowing jump-ins. This can be extremely cheap with the right cameo, and thanks to the powerful nature of his jump 3-2 air string, this becomes even better. Now, I don't want to get hung up on this too much, but one trick I quickly want to teach you is the strength of jump 3. Rain's jump 3-2 is a really good string on hit, but it's also fantastic on block. It's almost like a built-in option select, I suppose. Because on hit, should the jump 3-2 connect, of which it starts from a very powerful jump kick, Rain has got a very good jump kick in this game. On hit, it allows you to set something up for free, whether it's a projectile, a whirlpool, whatever it is, whatever you want to do, this is the ticket to setting it up on hit from the air. On block, however, jump 3-2 becomes a jump 3 and a standing 2. I didn't mention this move before because it's mostly apparent here. 2-1-1-2 is a 4-hit string that leads into extensions. Great in the corner, great mid-screen, I should say, but also, should you do jump 2-1-1, you can actually hit confirm before the launcher is applied and get yourself a grounded launcher for a better combo. This is really strong because should the opponent block the jump kick and then get hit by the standing 2, there's really nothing stopping you as the Rain player from committing to the rest of the string. There is a gap there, but if the opponent's unaware, it's nothing you have to worry about anyway. And most of the time, armor doesn't lead to massive damage unless you're fighting a Kung Lao or something. So having a jump 3-2 become a grounded string that jails the opponent should they disrespect is a very dangerous tool to have. I've won many of my Rain matches because they block the jump kick and then just disrespect it afterwards. This string will absolutely chew them up, and you've just got yourself a full combo. Into setup, into combos, into whatever you wish. And that's just something I thought was important to mention. Now, before I talk about cameos, I want to talk about some simple, effective Rain combos. When you're comboing somebody with Rain, if they're in the air, you want to always do jump 2-4-3. It's a ground bounce and it allows you to finish. A really easy combo is something like 1-1 EX down back 1. Jump 2-4-3, forward 2, down back 3. These kind of combos are very easy with practice. However, they just obtain simple and efficient damage. And you can turn these into various things, especially with the right cameo pairing. But the general rule of thumb is, should something hit on the ground, it's EX down back 1 you confirm into. Jump 2-4-3, 2 down back 3, forward 2 down back 3, or just a down back 3 on its own will always work here. These combos are not very difficult. However, they obtain decent damage and can lead to other things too. You know, should I launch an opponent here? Maybe I want to go for a portal. Push in aggressively, get another portal out there, go back to a safe distance. Maybe I want to reappear in front of them and get my jump 3-2 again. It's a very dangerous situation to put the opponent in, especially if they are uncomfortable on defense. But it's not just that. You have options for other launches too. The forward 3-2, should it connect, goes into the same sort of ender. if you land a back 2 into EX, you can still jump cancel this and go for a down back 3 on its own. Rain's combos are not flashy. They can be with the right kind of cameo pairing, but what they mostly serve is a pathway to setup or range, and that is why I want to talk about cameos. I don't want to get too hung up on the combos here, because once you've learned how to launch and then just do jump 2, 4, 3, you can now start to apply all of this to cameo selection, where the cameo will drastically change where you go from here. So to start with, let's talk about Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is the cameo I always suggest when you're playing this character for the first time, because he gives you a bit of everything. I've said this on my own channel, and I still strongly believe that. Whether you want to have a little bit of extra pushback thanks to back cameo, whether you want to have meterless combo conversions thanks to the forward cameo, or whether you want to bypass projectiles with the neutral. This is all useful for Rain. One of the big things being that I said that Rain is a defensive ranged character. However, these projectiles are quite slow. You are vulnerable to being outzoned by someone with a fast projectile because they'll hit you trying to set these things up. And that is where it can be a bit challenging, because if you can't set these projectiles up, you're simply getting zoned out by the opponent. There's no other way to look at it. Should you have Sub-Zero's ice armor, this will now bypass most of those troubles you'll have, whether it's a Kung Lao low hat, whether it's going to be the forward down back 4 orb to bypass a few projectiles. You're going to get outzoned sooner or later, but here it's not something you have to worry about as much. Having this ice armor means you can now zone without taking projectiles from the opponent, and now they have to play your game. Especially useful against someone like Liu Kang, for example, who without sub cameo can actually zone you out. Should you have sub, Liu Kang can no longer do that. This won't work against everybody. However, if it's like a Reiko or something, he's still going to throw stars and chew through this armor. I do personally think Reiko is a terrible matchup for Rain. Most characters, you can now zone a lot more comfortable thanks to Sub-Zero. But that is just one element of this. The extra element, and something that is a bit trickier to enforce, but with practice is incredibly cheap, is the set play. Should you go for a launch here, call in Sub-Zero, dash in, charge your back forward one, and now it's time to mix up the opponent. This is a really, really good element of the character, and although there are other cameos that can allow this charged back forward one into your portal, into various hard-to-block scenarios or mix-ups in general, Sub-Zero is definitely the easiest at enforcing it. I mentioned all of these combos that go launch into 2-4-3. That is still prevalent, because should you go for a launch here, 2-4-3, forward cameo right now, and this is a very easy setup to apply. And you can do this with many characters, it's just particularly easy with Sub. And it works at the end of combos, whether you're in the corner, whether you're mid-screen, anything into the launch. 2-4-3, forward cameo, dash in, charge it up, and now it's time to mix up. Now, I'm delaying the portal here because this isn't a guaranteed scenario. The opponent can delayed wake up, and I have them set to delayed wake up. The reason being, if someone does not know the matchup and they get hit by this situation, forward cameo, you stun them with your charged back forward one, you set this up, you go for a throw or an overhead or whatever the case may be. They eat it, it armor breaks, it looks almost broken. The delayed wake up is how you counter this. It doesn't get you out for free, but it forces the Rain player to then have to make a decision. How do I think the opponent's going to try and escape this? And if I read a delay wake up, I have to delay this, because it will still meaty. If they delay and you go for the fast version of the pool on the floor, it will actually dissipate before they stand up, so it no longer becomes a mix-up. And sometimes they can even punish you. In this instance, though, the delay wake-up forces you to delay your own options, which still has you in charge. That's something that's worth pointing out here, because if I have them in the corner, I do the same thing. I'll launch the opponent, I'll do jump 3-2 this time, go for the freeze, charge, I'll delay my portal, I'll go for a jump in. That can be timed to be a very hard to block situation because they delayed wake up. So you do have to get more experience here. This isn't a one size fits all, just do it and it works. However, it's great the more you do it and the more you understand how your opponent wants to escape. So Sub-Zero, combo conversions, setup potential, counter zoning, pushback. He does a little bit of everything Rain wants to enforce. Now, let's talk about the final cameo. The final cameo to talk about here in this video is Striker. Now, I don't think I need to talk in droves about how good the grenades are on a base level. It's more how good they are with Rain, because we are talking post-patch without the Cyrax benefit. Striker does give you some of that, just in a slightly different way and less HP. The first thing is the forward version of the grenade, because when you're using this in a combo, let's say you're doing something like forward 2-1, you can dash in and actually convert this. This is something that Cyrax's vertical chopper was doing, or horizontal, I guess is more accurate pre-patch, and Striker's grenades can give you a similar thing. This will work on block as well, where you can dash in, go for an overhead, you can dash in with a grenade, cancel it into a throw. There's quite a few different options you could go for, and it's nice to have that extra option with Striker, but that is just merely one layer. This can be good for a number of different ways. I did forward 2-1 grenade into forward 2-1. However, if you're tight enough with this, you can even get it meterless. The only thing you're going to spend there is the cameo gauge, and you can get a meterless confirm from a mid. Let's say someone's been caught mashing a button, you've just got yourself a full combo for only cameo usage. That is just merely one aspect, though. The grenades being good for so many different purposes give Rain a lot more unpredictability. If you are zoning someone out and you go for these grenades, call in the whirlpool on the floor, you can pair it with your down, down, up, and it works quite well together. If you want to go for something extra, you can do something like the down 3 that I mentioned, having really good range. Down 3, down back 3. This is unsafe on block, even with pushback. You can do down 3, down back 3, strike a grenade to make it even safer. You're just creating this defensive perimeter that Striker is going to make even more effective. Let's say I've gone for 1-1-4 this, you know. We're going to go 1-1-4, strike a grenade, teleport in, reappear. If the opponent gets caught there trying to press a button, if I go for the close grenade, they get lit up by that. And if they try and interrupt, the grenade will connect, which allows the jump kick to hit them. So generally, Striker's grenades just help you establish more aggressive presence, while at the same time helping you play defensively, because you kind of just create this denial area on the screen that you're already going to be pairing with your other projectiles. This is for more, I think, slippery, no pun intended, Rain players that are a bit more hit and run. They're looking for these portals, they're looking for the setup here, and you're trying to sort of cover yourself with Striker to make these advances, which might be a bit more unsafe. They're now going to be a lot more safe because you have Striker grenade just to cover your back just that little bit extra. So the combination of having combo potential, whether it's meterless, whether it's spending bar on an easier confirm, doing things on block to create this brick wall that Striker is now making even more aggravating for the opponent, making setups into something like this, call in the grenade, summon, reappear. This is all stuff the grenades are good for. But finally, let's not forget that Rain does have something like 1-1-4, which is a low. You can do something cheeky like 1-1 up cameo for the plus on block overhead. So it's mostly going to be grenade with Striker, but there are a few other things you can enforce. It's just the cameo for the more offensively aggressive minded, those that want to get in, establish stuff, you know, hit some sort of mid, call in Striker, dash in, and the rest of it is the classic Striker activity. It just so happens that it works wonderfully well with Rain. However, that is going to be this video. I would like to thank DashFight very much for bringing me on board, a chance to talk about Rain once more, and kind of just give some final thoughts on this character that is incredibly defensive, incredibly ranged focus, but the cameo changes how you can play him in a pretty big way. I covered Striker and Sub-Zero because they are right now the two most common cameos we see, but there are other cameos you can pair with him as well. It's just that for the sake of a tutorial, I really wanted to talk about the ones you're the most likely to see, because players like Rothor, other players as well, they're ones to learn from at a high level, and these are the cameos that you see in that level of play for a good reason, but for how long that is, who knows? You never know what kind of patch will be introduced or what kind of characters may shift the meta. Who knows? Maybe Chameleon's going to come out and she becomes one of Rain's best pairings. That is a story for another time, no doubt. However, my name is Ketchup. You can catch me one more time on PND Thank you very much to DashFight for allowing me to make this guide for all of you, and for all of you for watching. I hope this was helpful. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Take care.